On this episode, we discuss the ups and downs of shopping for and buying health insurance as an expat.
So if you've ever wondered whether you can squeak by without it, probably a bad idea, or buy the biggest plan possible, you'll dig this episode of the Bangkok Podcast.
Sawadee krap, and welcome to the Bangkok Podcast. My name is Greg Jorgensen, a Canadian who came to Thailand in 2001 to start a religion based on the mythical Naga river serpent, only to learn that religions based around snakes are not as popular as I thought they'd be.
That's actually a pretty good idea, man.
Why not? Yeah.
And I'm Ed Knuth, an American who came to Thailand on a one-year teaching contract over 25 years ago, fell in love with the shocked look on Thai people's faces when I tell them that I like som tam. I just don't tell them I get it with one chili instead of 5, so I never left.
Don't want to overstate yourself. It's like meeting someone and saying you're rich. And then when it comes time, they learn a bit more about you. And they're like, oh, this guy is actually full of crap. So,
I always tell them
the spice level.
I always tell them I like spicy food. And I do, but not Thai spicy. That's the truth. Not what they mean. Not what they mean by spicy.
Context is key.
We want to give a big thanks to all of our patrons who support the show. Patrons get every episode a day early, behind-the-scenes photos of our interviews, a heads up to send questions to upcoming guests, and access to our Discord server to chat with me, Greg, and other listeners around the world. But best of all, patrons also get an unscripted, uncensored bonus episode every week where we riff on current events and Bangkok topics. On this week's bonus show, we chatted about my ongoing tech troubles and my newfound determination to finally, permanently find a solution. A discussion about a YouTube warning Greg got saying that a 6-year-old video of his then 4-year-old son doing typical kid things violated its guidelines on child safety. And talk about a tea party that I've been invited to that has a floral theme, with Greg Blackshirt Everyday Jorgensen offering me some surprisingly useful fashion advice. To learn how to become a patron and get all this good stuff, plus full access to over 800 bonus and regular back episodes, click the support button at the top of our website.
You know, in another life, I could have been a fashion influencer.
Okay, another life. That's the key phrase. That's doing a lot of work there.
I could still be a fashion influencer now, just for people who like wearing black t-shirts.
That's right. Black t-shirt. Each show of yours would be like, the new black.
Black is the new black. That's right. And everyone, don't forget, if you are oot and about in Bangkok and see a Bangkok podcast sticker, take a picture. Send us 3 pictures of 3 different stickers and we'll send you a gift. I've put a few more up around town over the past few weeks, Ed, but the problem is I've only been out in some really sort of like backwater areas, been on bike rides and stuff.
Oh, funny.
I gotta get out on Sukhumvit and Silam and put a few more around those areas.
Yeah. More well-trodden paths.
That's right. All right, on this episode, we are going to do a free-range discussion on something that all of us have to deal with in some way or another, health insurance. Now, Ed and I both know that we are old, probably older than a lot of people listening, but with age comes knowledge, often gained through cold, hard experience. Now, between us, we've had a lot of exposure to how the insurance game is played, from not having any to having too much. So following a discussion we were having with a friend of ours, we thought it'd be interesting to have a chinwag about the ups, the downs, a few inside stories, and a few tips and strategies for dealing with the tricky topic of health insurance as an expat in Thailand. Now, this is funny because you suggested this topic after our discussion recently, but just this morning, I signed the paper for a brand new insurance company that I just signed up with.
Oh, shit. So you changed your package, so to speak.
I did, yes. My package was getting old, so I got a new package. So yeah, it's a good timing for this conversation.
Yeah, so we listeners, Greg, myself, and a buddy of ours, we happen to have a long discussion about it, discussing each of our approaches, and we figured we'd make a show out of it. And Greg was nice enough to let me kind of frame the topic. So here's how I think expats should begin thinking about it. I think the main thing you want to think about is where you spend your time and where you expect your primary care to be, and then what you need a safety net for. So this discussion is focusing on actual expats living in Thailand. Tourists have different issues. So we're talking about foreigners based in Thailand. And so here's how I think about it. There's basically three issues or three areas of coverage you got to worry about. Obviously, if you're based here, you need coverage in Thailand, and you want to make sure that what you're covered for in Thailand is what you want to be covered for. But most of us travel back home to where we came from, where our family and friends are. So you have to worry about whether you have coverage when you're back, wherever that is. In my case, it's the United States. In Greg's case, it's Canada. As a listener, you might be going back to England or France or Sweden or wherever, or Brazil. And so now, and most of us do try to go back. I mean, I try to go back at least once a year. As I am older, I actually have a desire to go back more. It's a little bit weird because I have some friends who, I don't want to say they've totally cut their ties, but I have some friends who are like, nope, I'm not going back. I have nothing there.
I'm done. The hell with them.
But I definitely want to live between the two worlds. Like, in my case, I teach American studies, so it's a little bit weird if I never go back there. Right?
Fair enough. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I need coverage in Thailand. I need coverage in the States. And then the third thing is, what if you're traveling somewhere else? A lot of expats are big world travelers. I happen to not be, but I actually am planning a trip to Europe over the Christmas holidays this year. So that's my initial frame. There's coverage while you're in Thailand. There's coverage when you're back home, where presumably you might be spending more time than like a tourist necessarily. You might go back for a couple times a year. You might go back for a month or two. But then as expats, we're probably more travel friendly than the typical Canadian or American. So this raises this question. Now, I know some of your background, and I'm not getting into my personal stuff too deeply or your personal stuff, but you and I talked about, this topic of, do we really need just worldwide global coverage? Because you can buy pretty expensive packages that just cover you around the world.
Yeah, completely. And I had something like that recently, which I'll talk about in a bit. But one of the things I thought was funny about the conversation we were having with our friend was that, you guys were both talking about, what's your deductible and your copay and all this stuff.
That's right.
And I mean, I've heard those words before. I kind of get what they mean. But, coming from the socialist paradise of Canada, I never had to deal with that.
That's right.
You go to the hospital and you walk out and you never have to think about paying because it's all free.
Right.
So I moved to Thailand when I was 26. So I didn't have to worry about insurance my entire life.
Interesting.
I never needed to learn the vocabularies or the ins and outs.
Well, Americans, we are the experts of health insurance because we have to know all this minutia.
You have created entire structures of language just to describe what you need to do. But for my first probably 10 years in Thailand, I didn't have health insurance at all.
Oh, damn.
Which I
That's
think
risky,
is probably, it is, but I think it's probably quite common for people who are not actively continuing to keep their ties back in their home country, their bank account, their taxes, all that stuff. I think there's a lot of people like myself who move here and just kind of let things go.
Yes.
And don't worry about it.
And especially when you're young. I mean, this is the classic mistake is when you're young, you feel invincible. So I think there are plenty of people in their 20s and going into their 30s who probably lack health insurance. And this is part of our kind of strategic discussion. As we've talked about many times, healthcare in Thailand is a good deal for what you get. And in general, the amount you have to pay for care is going to be less than a country like the United States for sure. Right. So the idea of being without health insurance in the States for a long time is just insane.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. But the idea of having no coverage in Thailand, as a young person, and I'm not recommending it, but I'm just going to say it's not actually insane. So like in the States, you're nuts. In Thailand, you should probably always have some insurance, but just given that the quality of care and the cost is lower, especially if you're young, I'm not sure it's a good idea, but I wouldn't say it's crazy to have no insurance in Thailand.
No, I agree. And for those 10 years when I was uncovered, there were a few times where I had to go and get an X-ray or check something out of the hospital, and it was a few thousand baht. Even if you go to a nice hospital like Samiti Wedge or something like that, it's three,
It's
four,
not
five
insane.
thousand baht. Not insane, not insane. You can handle it. Back in the day, I was making 30,000 baht a month or whatever it was, and it was a hit. But as a young kid with no family, no kids, and you know
Right.
some disposable income, it wasn't a big deal. I will say though that there was one time when I was on the back of a motorcycle, my friend was driving, and we had to sort of get away from a traffic checkpoint really quickly. Different story, I'll tell another time. And he accelerated, and I fell off the bike,
Oh
and
shit.
I really, really sprained my ankle very badly. It
Oh, that's
wasn't
rough.
broken,
That's rough.
and I just kind of let it heal. And at the time,
Oh
I
geez.
was
Oh geez.
at the time I was 28, something like
Right.
that. And to this day, this is 26 years later, 25 years later, I can still, when I flex my ankle in a
Oh
certain way, I'm
wow.
doing it right now, I can still feel it in there.
Right. Right.
Something's weird, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's in general, it's probably always a good idea for anyone to have some kind of insurance. But let me continue with how to frame this. So I think that's
Okay.
the first question for expats is this kind of regional issue. I think if you do travel a lot, like you and I have friends who travel a lot. I mean, they're going to Europe, they're going to the US, they're going to South America. So I think if that's you, if you are a global expat, then you need global coverage. That's the smart move. Instead of trying to buy like travel insurance every time I get on a plane, then I think you should front for you have insurance that's primarily here, but you've got global coverage.
Mm.
That's the right move. But I I really think, and you and I kind of reached this conclusion. I think if you're just a regular traveler, if you're spending a couple weeks here, I think if you're spending a month outside of Thailand, man, I just don't think it makes sense. Those packages are pretty expensive, and I think that the total global coverage thing. Of course, all of these decisions depend on how wealthy you are. So if you're wealthy enough, just pay it.
Just
Um,
do it.
but I think that so a person like me, who I really normally travel once a year. I'm trying to up my game and travel more, but my issue breaks down to something like this. I'm mostly in Thailand, and then I'm mostly in the US. So for me, the big problem is trying to figure out what am I going to do when I'm back in the States? Because most Thai health insurance does not cover you outside of Thailand, and certainly not in the US. Like sometimes it does cover you outside Thailand, but not in the US. Like the US is the one place where insurance companies are like, no, we're not covering you in the US.
It's funny you say that because let me get a little bit into my situation. So for the past, God, probably 6 years or so, I have had very good international health insurance.
Oh, so you
And
paid, or your company helped pay, right?
well, here's the thing. So when I was working with Agoda really took care of its employees, and I can't remember the details, but I think Agoda subsidized health plans 50%.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
think.
Okay.
And this was a long time ago. Things may be very different now, but that was significant, and they had very good insurance. So that was a very, very good deal. But then when I
But it
moved
was
on from
worldwide.
Agoda,
So that was worldwide.
yes, worldwide insurance. So I didn't even think about it. It was just something they took out of every paycheck, and it was done. But after I left Agoda, I had to worry about my own insurance. And I can't remember the specifics, but I bought a very good package that had global coverage. And it was very good for me and my son. Healthcare anywhere in the world, medical evac, all this kind of stuff,
Damn.
except America.
Except you,
Every
yeah, that's right.
every country in the world except America.
That's right.
So I know I don't travel to America, so it was no big deal. But recently, I just turned 50 recently, and that is like the magical cutoff moment. So suddenly, when you're over 50, insurance companies start getting a little bit nervous. They're like, ooh,
That's
these
right.
premiums
Yeah.
are going to have to go up a little bit.
That's right.
And long story short, my insurance renewal came around this year, and it was crazy expensive, like 50% more expensive than it was
Jeez.
5 years ago.
So did you end up? So did you limit the global coverage? Because when we were chatting before, we were kind of saying like global coverage seems to me. I mean, again, if you can afford it, it's your business. But I mean, if
Right.
you're not traveling a lot, do you really need coverage in Africa?
Exactly. And this is something that I didn't really think about it. Like I don't like to think about these things too much. If someone says, I think you should have this, and they do the here's why, blah, 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 I go, great, sounds good. Where do I sign? I probably should think about it more than that. So I probably bought an insurance plan that was a bit of overkill for
Oh, I
what I
see.
needed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I actually, a few years ago, I went back to my insurance company and I said, hey, this is starting to get a little bit expensive. Can I drop this down to just like Thailand only? Because I don't travel as much as I used to. I just need coverage in Thailand. And they said, no, if you do that, you have to basically rejoin as a new customer again. And tell me what you think about this. My fear is that basically every time I pay my insurance bills to the insurance company, I'm buying a little bit of goodwill from them.
Oh, I see.
So
Right.
that if I get
Right.
smoked by a bus or something, they're going to say, "Oh, this guy's been paying us for like 8 years.
Oh, right.
He's
Right.
he's given us a lot of money. No problem with his coverage covering his
Right. So if you're like a newbie, if you're
Yeah.
a brand new guy, they're going to try to screw you.
Yeah, this guy got smoked by a bus. Oh, geez, he's only been paying us for 6 months. This surgery is going to cost more than he's paid us. So we're going to try and wiggle out of this. That
Interesting.
was my fear. I don't know if that's legit or
Well,
not.
the bottom line is, I mean, I hate insurance companies, and I've really almost never had a problem with them. It's just I feel like in general, people have run into so many problems, and I have had friends who have to fight to get coverage. So it is kind of a national pastime to hate insurance companies. So
it is.
you might be in the right.
So anyway, so I just decided to say, oh, the hell with it. I'll just stay with him. So I stayed with him, but just until this most recent bill came around, and I was like, okay, something's got to be done. I can't afford that.
Right. Right.
So long story short, I talked to some friends. I found an agent that a few people have used and they trust, and I got a brand new insurance plan that is basically half of what I would have been charged this year. So
Gotcha. Now, did you end up going with the same company and different plan, or you just scrapped it and you started with a new company?
totally different company, and it was Thailand only plan. And now my strategy is when I travel, it's just what is it, 1,000 baht, 1,200 baht, or something like that.
Well, okay. Well, this is a good segue because this is exactly what I want to talk about.
Okay.
So my situation is this: I always had decent Thai insurance. I didn't have quite the gold-plated coverage you had from your companies, but I worked for a Thai company that had good insurance, and then Thai government insurance that I have through my university isn't great on the high end, but it's pretty solid on the low end. And so, and this is kind of how Thai health insurance works. In the U.S., the way we usually think about health insurance is, I'll pay for the small stuff. The insurance is for the insane high end stuff, because obviously American insurance bills can be $1 million. So the idea is, hey, I'm going to pay this deductible $10,000 or $5,000. I just need insurance for the big stuff. Well, in Thailand, because the prices are much cheaper, Thai people tend not to think about anything above 1 million baht. Like to them, for a lot of Thai people, medical bills don't go over 1 million baht. And so what they want is coverage for the small stuff, or small to medium. And so I've had coverage like that for a long time. But here's the problem. As you get older as an expat in Thailand, the bills can get high. That's the thing. So you can't, I don't think you should think like a Thai person and say, oh, my bill will never go over 1 million baht. No, yes, it will. Like 1 million baht is, 1 million baht is $30,000. So that goes pretty far in the Thai system, but not if you need a open heart surgery. But the bottom line is medical bills in Thailand can go into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you can get a 10 million baht bill if you have a major problem that a 65-year-old guy might have.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So this is why. So I'm turning the big 6-0 in a month. Basically, I'm turning the big 6-0, and so this is part of the reason that started our health insurance conversation, because I'm realizing now is I cannot just ride my decent Thai insurance anymore, because my Thai insurance is low to mid. I need catastrophic, holy shit, 300, $500,000. I need higher end coverage. I need American style insurance now.
Right. And you need, I didn't see that meteor coming insurance.
That's right. And so I'm gonna. So here's without going into too much detail. So I have this government insurance, which is solid on the small to medium stuff. So what I'm trying to find now is coverage in Thailand that is higher end, that's going to cover the disaster things, but not be too expensive. And so I haven't purchased it yet. And, because of Thai laws, we can't really name companies or rip on companies. But some of the companies, based on my research, so I haven't gone, I'm going to need to do the medical exam. So maybe we'll do a later show on this, because I'm going to go through this whole process. I'm going to have to go in and get medical exams. So it'll be kind of like, we can do a show on old guy insurance, because I'm going to have to give them all, I'm going to have to give them all my medical records. And, I am a cancer survivor, so I don't know how much my coverage is going to be. But here's the good news that I discovered is that the two most popular companies, which if you're in the know, you could probably guess which ones I'm talking about. The two most popular companies for expats, they're pretty flexible with deductibles and things like that. In other words, you can kind of negotiate with them. So because I already have like low to mid insurance, I can tell them, hey, I don't need anything under 100,000 baht, or I don't need anything under, actually probably I probably don't need insurance for anything under, again, this is what I have to work out. I probably don't need any insurance for anything under 200,000 baht. I think I got that covered. I just want the serious stuff. And it looks like, based on my research, that my premiums won't be insane. Like, so they'll do a deal with me. Because they'll be happy to be like, oh shit, you don't need like anything that's 5,000, 10,000 baht, 20, 30,000 baht. I'm like, don't worry about that.
Yeah, right.
So it looks like I'm going to be able to craft more like catastrophic insurance, and I'll obviously have to pay more. So I'm going to have to pay for it, but it won't. I don't think it's going to be too insane. But we'll do a future show on this. We'll do a Ed old guy insurance show, and I'll tell you guys what I came up with. But that's one thing. But I did want to talk about this. I still have the problem of the United States. Like, as an American citizen, we don't have the socialist paradise, which means when I go back to the States, I have to worry about coverage there myself.
Right. And
let me tell you this. This is actually another one of the reasons I wanted to do this show. I have always thought that Thai healthcare is really good, but if I needed anything really serious, like the proverbial like open heart surgery, I always thought I'm going to go back to the States for that. So like the US, I think the US has the best medical care in the world. It's just insanely expensive. But if you want the best, if you need brain surgery, go to the US.
Right. Okay. So I dig.
So a bit of a confession. So I've never been without health insurance in Thailand, but here's my confession. I've had this plan for a long time. I should sign up for Obamacare, the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, and just pay the premiums. Even though I'm not back in the US very much, I still go back there for weeks at a time. And like I already said, it's really dumb to be in the US with no insurance.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that's
you
right.
Slip on a bit of ice, and that's it. Right. You're bankrupt.
And my Thai insurance does not cover the US. But here's my confession. I have bought. The truth is, over the years, when I go back to the US, I have occasionally like remembered or been willing, and I've just bought some travel insurance when I go back to the States. But dude, I think I've done that twice. So my confession is, I've gone back to the US many times with no coverage, which I do not recommend. Like, that is just dumb. And
so like a short visit to the States without insurance is more dangerous than living in Thailand.
That's right.
For years without insurance.
I've done it, but like this is like my confession. My mom just passed away. I'm about to turn 60, and I'm realizing, look, for years I've been telling myself, oh, I'll sign up for the ACA. Like, that's been my plan for 10 years, and then I've never done it. Like, I'm just like, it's like my plan was, oh, I have my good Thai insurance. I'll sign up for Obamacare. I'm covered. And then I've never done it. I just didn't do it. And so here's what I was planning. I was thinking, okay, finally, I've got to do it. I'm going to sign up for the ACA. So I got on AI. I'm talking to Gemini, trying to make a smart decision. And check this out, dude. Gemini said, I don't need it. Gemini said that Thai healthcare now has gotten so good. It gave me data on heart transplants in Thailand. And they basically said it's as good as the US. I was shocked.
Really?
Hopefully I'm not going to need literally a heart transplant. But
Wow.
it basically said, so I'm turning 60. At age 65, I qualify for Medicare in the US. So we actually do have, I wouldn't call it a paradise, but we have socialized medicine for 65 and above. Now there's still it's not totally free. There's still I'd still have to pay something for it. But basically AI was saying, dude, if you have good Thai insurance and you can make it to 65, like don't sign up for the ACA.
Really interesting.
Yeah, it was like basically they were saying that even on the high end now, like it basically, I think I'd have to go back and check it out, but I think it said that at Bumrungrad, they have a 100% success rate for heart transplants. Like the most, it was saying that even at the high end now, like because this is, as we've talked about before, this is a medical tourism destination, as you know from your wife, where your wife works, like the richest people in the world come to Thailand to get high quality care.
Yeah. I have full faith in the Thai healthcare system, especially if you go to one of the expensive private hospitals. Okay. I mean, there is a tiered system in Thailand where the public hospitals are maybe, not as desirable for expats and stuff. But if I was going to a Bumrungrad or a S8.E56, I would have full confidence in their ability to do almost anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I did have that confidence, but not for the most difficult stuff. Like
okay.
you said almost anything, but basically Gemini said everything.
All right. Well, that's good to know, I guess. That's
everything.
That's a boon.
This is I'm just researching this now. But it does mean that I need, so basically my lesson is I have to get travel. When I go to the US, I have to get travel insurance. So my current strategy is to get catastrophic insurance in Thailand that I pay for. So I got my government plus catastrophic, but if I step one foot out of Thailand, I have to buy travel insurance for every trip. I mean, it's an added thing to worry about. But
so you don't travel that much.
Well, I don't. But like I said, I've got a Europe trip planned or planning. I'm going back to the States in 2 weeks for my sister's my niece's wedding, my sister's daughter's wedding. I'm going to be back in the U.S. again, and I just have to not be lazy and not be an idiot and just get the travel insurance so I'm covered when I'm back there.
Well, funnily enough, I'm going to Vietnam in a few weeks as well. And
there you go.
Now I'm not on my old plan, which covered all countries in the world. Now I've got to get travel insurance when I go. But it's 800 baht or something like that.
The truth is, it's just I'm in the old guy world now. It's like I can't think like a kid. I can't think like a young person. Like I'll be fine. Nothing to worry about. I just can't. Yeah. I can't do that anymore.
No, if I fell off my friend's motorcycle today, I would lay on the ground until someone brought me to the hospital. I wouldn't get up.
That's right.
One thing that I thought was interesting was that in my old plan, and I think probably it applies to a lot of different insurance companies, was there is a no claim bonus that you get for some plans here. So for instance, if you don't go to the hospital, if you don't use your insurance policy for a year, the next year you sign up, they can reduce it by like 10%. They'll take 10% off your premium.
Very cool.
But it's interesting. It's tricky because say I'm paying, just for sake of argument, say I'm paying 100,000 baht for insurance. I go to the hospital and I get a couple x-rays or whatever, and it's 5,000 baht. And I say, oh, that's 5,000 baht. That's not nothing. That's a good chunk of money. I want my insurance company to cover that. So I use my insurance. They say, no problem, 5,000 baht, we'll take care of it. You just go home and relax. So the insurance company now has paid 5,000 baht. But if I don't use my insurance plan for the year, I get a 10% reduction. So if I pay 5,000 baht for my x-rays out of my own pocket, don't let the insurance company know I was there, and I don't claim anything else for the end of the year, I get a reduction of 10,000 baht.
You're going to save money.
Bill.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm saving money, right? So it's some of these little rules. I mean, this is the fine print that exists in any contract, but it's funny how they work here, and you got to be careful of stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm opening up that Pandora's box. Like I've been riding on okay Thai insurance. I've been foolishly uninsured on most of my trips to the States, and I just can't I just can't do this anymore. It's like I got to wake up at some point. I have to act like a mature adult at some point.
Yeah, and a bit of an elderly man advice here too. I know someone recently, a young person who had no insurance, but who had a fairly serious issue, and they are caught up in a shitstorm right now. So
it's a nightmare.
It sounds it's so cliche, the old person telling the young people what to do. Right. But young people, if it's within your means, having a health insurance in Asia is really not that prohibitively expensive.
That's right.
I'd say you're buying peace of mind, and it is well worth it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think not having insurance in the States, it's just insane. Like, never do that. Right. Not having insurance in Thailand, it might not be insane, but it's still not smart. Like, you should. No. Everyone should do it. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the shitty part of it all is that you want your health insurance to be a complete waste of money.
That's right.
You want that money to go out the door and never see it again and never have to think about it again, which sucks. But
you're buying peace of mind, but you actually said it. It's a good way to end the discussion. What you're really buying is peace of mind. That's what you're getting, actually. Yeah,
and that becomes more valuable as you get older. So
for sure,
there it is. Anyway, that's our take on having health insurance in Thailand. It's a good thing to look into. It's a great thing to have, and especially as you age. So look into it. It's reasonable, and do some shopping around. And if anyone is looking for an agent or something like that, send us an email. I got the person I'm dealing with is very good, and I've got a few other names as well that have come highly recommended. These are how these things work, isn't it? Like, hey, do you know someone who can fix shoes? Oh, I got my shoe guy.
Well, dude, I'm gonna probably call your person. So like I'm like I said, I'm opening up this Pandora's box. I need like high-end coverage. So I'll talk to your guy.
Yeah. I got an insurance guy now. So I got the number. And if anyone wants the insurance guy that I deal with, just send me an email.
Cool.
I'll hook you up. And I'll only take 2% off the top. All right, let's get into some love, loathe, or live with, where one of us picks a particular aspect of living in Bangkok, which we discuss to decide if it's something that we love about living here, loathe about living here, or have come to accept as something that we just have to learn to live with no matter how we feel about it. And this week, Ed, it is my turn to throw something your way.
Cool.
So I went out the other day to a restaurant with my son, and it's not a restaurant I've been to recently or often, but it is something I've been to throughout my life. And I was sitting there and we were having food, and I said, my son, what do you think of this food? And he's like, it's really, really good. And I thought, yeah, damn, I'm really enjoying this. So I want to know what you think about Sizzler.
Oh, it's funny. Okay, here's the truth. I've never been into it. But,
really?
Yeah. But part of the problem is that when I came here, I was vegetarian. And then after a few years, I switched and I went back to eating meat. And for some reason, I never got into it. And I know it's one of those kind of common chain restaurants. And I know people who like it. Like it's a little bit, it's almost like Tukledi at Foodland. It's not, everyone knows it's not high end. It's not high so. But
it's got kind of a McDonald's-esque or reputation,
Yeah. And then for some reason, I never got into it. And then, actually it was around the time I turned 50 and I started to get more health conscious. I went back to being vegetarian. So now I'm kind of out of that market. But it is kind of weird because that brand, it's just, to me, I don't know what it reminds. I don't know what it would remind me of in the States. Maybe something like Applebee's. It has a very mid thing. It just has like a for everyone kind of vibe. It's like Lotus. Yeah. It's like Lotus.
Yeah.
Like it just has a very mid thing, and I have no problem with that. Like I'm not. Like I grew up mid. Like everything about my life, I grew up in the suburbs in a little box house. I have a total mid. I'm culturally mid. But I don't know, man. I never got it. I never understood why people like you like that brand.
Well, it's funny because it gets made fun of. People sort of like Sizzler, But
that's right.
I was sitting there eating the meal. I'm like, this is really good. The salad bar is unlimited, and there's tons of veggies and stuff, and of course there's unhealthy stuff too. But we quite enjoyed our meal, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I know that there's this. There is. I know people like that, and then I never got it. Since we are mentioning brands, and I'm only going to say something good. I've always liked Sunrise tacos, and I have friends who rip on Sunrise. Like they treat Sunrise like it's Taco Bell. And number one, I like Taco Bell.
Hold the cyclospora, please.
That's right. Yeah, true that. But Sunrise Tacos it's not. It's kind of mid-level Mexican food. It's not like a nicer Mexican place. So I have friends who like they won't go to Sunrise. And
really? Okay.
I've never understood that, man. I like Sunrise.
I've had Sunrise. It's fine. It's
like both you and I are the same way about like the pizza company. Like I have friends who won't order pizza company. They're like, that dude, that's horrible. And I'm like, I don't get it.
I like it. It's fine. Yeah, although I did order Soho pizza a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed that too. So.
Oh, Soho is good too. Yeah, I think this is just highly individual, but in a way, it's funny that food in Thailand is a little bit like the healthcare. Like you like what you get for the price, you kind of can't complain.
That's right. So I'm a live with bordering on love with Sizzler. I think it's every time I've been there, I've had a very nice meal.
Cool.
So.
I would say I'm a live with. I'm not a loathe, but never was a big fan, to be honest.
All right. Interesting.
All right. A final thanks to our patrons who support the show. Patrons get a ton of cool perks and the warm, fuzzy feeling knowing that they're helping in our never-ending quest for cool content. Find out more by clicking support on our website. And connect with us online. We're Bangkok Podcast on social media, bangkokpodcast.com on the web, or simply bangkokpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from our listeners and always reply to our messages. Unless, of course, you're a PR agent who pitches clients who have no connection to Bangkok.
That's right. You can also listen to each episode on YouTube. Send us a voicemail through our website. We'll feature that on the show. Hit me up on Blue Sky. I'm BKK Greg. Thank you for listening, everyone. We'll see you back here next week.
For sure.